There are a lot of ways to learn church history, and perhaps that's one of the reasons why you've chosen to go on one of these church history workshops. Well, first of all, I'm very excited for you and congratulations. As I was going through the workshop, I wanted so badly to be able to know exactly where I was and to be able to see exactly where each one of these points in church history was on a map, because for some reason that seemed to make more sense to me if I was able to plot these on a map. Well, I created a project that allows me to do just that. In order for this project to work, and you can kind of get a preview here, in order for this project to work, you actually need two apps that work side by side with each other. The first app is an app that's called Idea Places, and the second app is called Evernote. Now, unfortunately, the combination of these two apps only works on iOS devices. Evernote works just fine on Android devices, but if you want to see the power of both, you actually need an iOS device, and I'll show you how each one of these works. Let's go ahead and focus on Idea Places. So again, you can see right here that this is a map of all the church history points that are going to coincide with the different church history workshops. So for example, right over here are the points for the Pioneer Trails workshop. Over here, right here in the center, are the ones that coincide with the Midwest Church History Workshop, and then these points over here coincide with the Northeast Church History Workshops. While it may not be very apparent, each one of those red points is an individual location in a church history story. So for example, let's zoom in over here if we want to. Let's actually focus on one of these dots. Let's actually focus on this one. By pressing on that little dot, it actually brings up what that location is, and it's Chimney Rock. It's just a little note preview, but if you click on that note preview, it'll actually bring up all the information that is associated with this location, including geographical information, general information about the site, and then of course journal accounts as well. Incidentally, this is also the same format in the Northeast and in the Midwest Church History Workshops as well. You can also just click on any of those points to see exactly what it is and what some of the events are. So again, for fun, we're going to go over here into Ohio. We're going to explore a little bit. So that's one up here by the Lake Erie. That one looks interesting. So again, I'm going to click on that little red dot, and a little preview will come up telling me what that little red dot is. And that little red dot coincides with Fairport Harbor and the particular lighthouse that's there. So again, this works in the same whether you're in Pioneer Trails, whether you're in the Midwest, or whether you're in your Northeast workshop as well. Well, remember that Idea Place is a place where information is housed geographically. Well, where does all that information come from? All that information is actually housed in Evernote. Evernote is kind of like the library where all this can be found. You'll notice right here that all of these are locations along the church history workshop. This particular one happens to deal with the Pioneer Trails workshop, although again, we could actually look and see the different workshops as well, both for the Midwest and for the Northeast as well. But for this, let's just focus on the Pioneer Trails workshop here as well. The first note is a table of contents, and I'll show you how that operates here in a second. But again, you'll notice that we went to Chimney Rock. Well, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to find Chimney Rock over here on the left-hand side. And there it is right there, right where my cursor is right here. By pressing on Chimney Rock, it actually brings up the same note that was attached geographically to our map in Idea Places. So again, here's all that information, including pictures, general information, and journal accounts. It's actually the same note. It's just housed differently in Evernote than it is in Idea Places. You remember that I spoke that the ability to plot a point geographically only happens with the Idea Places app, at least on an iOS device. However, inside each note is some geographical information of its own. We have some text right here that explains where it is, but also you see this blue link on every note that coincide with GPS directions. Using your mobile device, whether it's an Apple device or an Android device, all you need to do is press on that blue link and it will open up your default map software on your mobile device. It will actually show you where that point is geographically. And then of course, if you wanted to get directions, all you need to that particular location, all you would need to do is hit directions, and it'll give you turn-by-turn directions on how to get there. So again, welcome aboard to the wonderful events that are going to happen in church history and to the wonderful experiences you're going to have in the church history workshops. I hope that this information in this tool just gives you an opportunity to enjoy church history geographically as you're going along those workshops as well.